Hello and welcome. If you're watching this video, that means that you're probably on my mailing list. And I wanted to offer this short, really taste about the connection between the gut and the nervous system for all my the people that follow my newsletter. So here it goes. Before we start, I wanted to introduce myself because I know that many of you signed for my newsletter without even meeting me ever. So here is who I am. My name is Leo. I live in Wilton, New Hampshire, and I grow healing plants or herbs. Um, I'm a lifelong student of herbs, but the last 10 years were pretty intensive. I am spending all summers between the plants in the garden, in my beautiful garden, and all winter really doing workshop and reading and listening and meeting people and learning more of the with my head. So I feel like in the summer I learn with my heart, and in the winter I learn with my head, and I hope it balances itself. Um, so during all this time, I slowly because herbal medicine, holistic medicine is really a very large field. So slowly, I kind of niched myself and understood what I'm really passionate about. And more, I understood that none of us is getting sick because we are deficient in this herb or the other, but because we actually lost our freedom, the freedom over our own body, and we delegated our health to people with white robes. And because we did that, we actually stopped being able to trust our own body to heal itself. We stopped ourselves from trusting our ability to read the body and to know when something went wrong, what's going on. We stopped the ability to understand what the body needs in order to be healthy. That's basic preventative medicine, to just know what nourish and feel good in your body and what is not good for your body. And we lost those abilities, and we kind of delegated all our health to people that are not us, that are having a hard time to walk in our shoes, because nobody can actually walk in your shoes. Nobody knows what's good for your body. Nobody knows how it is to feel in your body. So I made it like, I'm using herbs and I'm using nutrition in order to help people, especially women, reconnect with their body and understand um, what makes them feel better. So this is who I am. And let's dive in. It's really a short presentation just to give you a taste of what I'm doing. So what is stress? Stress is actually the body's response to pressure or to any kind of change in the situation of the body. It could be something outside of the body. It could be something inside the body. Let's say that you ate something that the body doesn't really like. It will respond with a stress response. But also, if you walk in the woods and a bear or a mountain lion run after you, for me it's snakes. I have like a snake phobia. So you see something that, even if you see something familiar like another friend or a neighbor, if it's if you didn't predict it, if it's a sudden thing, you will respond very fast and with a stress response, and um, then you will calm down. So it's when something unexpected happened to us. And what's interesting about the stress response is that we have only one stress response in the organism. So that stress response is triggered when you go out and something happened to you, something new, something changed. It could be even a change in the weather that is very sudden, or God forbid, a car accident, an animal running after you, whatever triggered that stress response. But interestingly enough, it happens also when you sit in front of the TV and you watch something unfolding in front of you. You're totally in your home, in your living room, with a bowl of popcorn, but there you see the news or you see horror movie, and your stress response in your body is triggered. Um, Another thing that could happen is that you had a stress response 20 years ago, and you think about it, and that stress response is reactivated in your body. So if you had something happen to you in your past, or if you're thinking about the future and you are stressed about something, that will elicit the same stress response as if something is threatening you right now at this moment. And if you watch it on TV, if you think about it, or if it happens to you physically, your body is reacting in the same way. So we need to keep that in mind. So your body is really, it knows, the nervous system in your body knows two ways of being, kind of. One is the rest and digest, and one is fight or flight, or the stress response. And what happens to you is that in stress response, well, let's skip to the other, the next slide and see what happens in state response. So when you're stressed, what happens is that the body is coming into a fight or flight response. So it's really fight or flight or freeze response, we say now. And it's really makes the body ready for survival. So the body releases cortisol and adrenaline. And what those does, they increase the heart rate and increase the blood that flows to the extremities, so to your hands and to your legs, so you can fight or you can run away. It's also increase your breathing rate, so you start to breathe shallow, fast breathing, and you might recognize that feeling, and with it comes this feeling of anxiety. Um, so, and the blood is really in the extremities. So in the head, you want to be able to see better. Your eyes are dilated, your ears are more kind of perceive better. In your hands and legs, where the blood doesn't flow very well is to your digestion. So it's diverted from your digestion, because who wants to digest a good meal when you're running away from something? Um, to your in your reproductive system, so no sex when the bear is running after you, and the urinary tract, because you don't want to feel like you want to pee or poop once you have to run away. You want to really be concentrated on fighting or flighting. The body is really going into this survival flow. And because of that, the digestion, the reproductive system, and the urinary system are really, I wouldn't say shut down, but they are really inhibited. And things like elimination is deprioritized. So you don't feel like you want to digest, you don't feel like, you're not hungry, you're not thirsty. You probably cannot break down food very efficiently. You can't absorb nutrient, and you can't eliminate. So that's the ups and downs of the sympathetic nervous system, or the stress response in the body. Let's look at what happens when you're in parasympathetic. When you're in parasympathetic nervous system response, that means that your body is in rest and digest. So you're relaxed. There is reduction in cortisol level. There is a need to eat more and to breathe. So more blood is flowing into your digestive tract, and you're able to break food more efficiently, to absorb food, and to eliminate. So all your digestive goes back to normal, your heart rate goes to normal, you breathe much more deeper, you relax your muscles, and your overall feeling is of relaxing, of letting go, of calming down. So, and as my teacher told me, one of my teacher, Tammy Smith, always said, You want to learn from your cat. Your cat is 90% of the time in a rest and digest mode. They all the time call somewhere and relax. And then 10% of the time they are in fight or flight response running after mice. It is so true. I watched my cat, but we don't live like that. Human being most of the time, especially in the Western culture, are in stress response. So, and there are so many reasons for that, but that just shows you, um, yeah, that we need better balance in our life. And I need to say something, that the stress response is not bad for you overall. Okay, we'll talk about it now. When we talk about acute response versus chronic stress response, because it's need to say that acute stress response is really important. It's your survival mechanism. It's the way your body adapts and grows, the way you can change and learn. If you don't have any stress in your life, you will never kick your butt to change or to grow. You will never, if you don't have a little bit of stress. I mean, cortisol is the same hormone that is secreted in your blood in the morning to wake you up. If you didn't have any cortisol in your blood, you would lie in bed and sleep the entire day. Um, so it's stress in the right amounts is really good for you, because it's a motivator for you to get up and do stuff, and to develop and to grow as a human being. What happens is that when the stress become constant, and when it become overwhelming, so you can't actually cope with it, you're not able to grow out of it, you all the time feel like constant overwhelming, psychologically and physically, um, worry or tired or exhausted because of stress, you can develop problems like anxiety, insomnia, muscle pain because you're holding the muscle so tight, high blood pressure, and all of that together weaken your immune system. So the problem with stress is not having a little bit of stress in our life, but when this stress becomes chronic and overwhelming. So a lot of the stresses in Western tradition are chronic in nature. There is something in the lifestyle that we live in that doesn't let us really relax. Part of it has to do with the way we live, with the way we disconnected to nature, with the way our body doesn't align with the cycles of nature, with the times of light and darkness, um, with the seasons of the year. We put a lot of stress on our body when we um, turn on the light in the evening and ask the body to function longer hours than there is light outside. And again, when we try to be active in the winter in the same way that we are active in the summer, it's really mess up with our organism. But other things like technology, um, the way we rush from thing to thing without really breathing, chronic disease that has to do with the way we eat, with the Western diet, relationship. I think we messed up relationships too in the Western diet, because um, we kind of took apart the entire tribe thing, and we are so individuals and there are not enough support system. So that has to do with it. And of course, toxin exposures that are, I think yeah, we are messing with the earth without really understanding how much mess we we create in our own bodies and in our own life. So those are all, it looks like the Western culture um, try to put together as much stressor and create a life that are overwhelming and full of chronic stress. So what happened when you have so much stress? So as we saw, when you have a stress response, you have a reduced blood flow to the digestive tract. So you're not breaking down nutrient very well from the food. Um, you're not absorbing very well. So over a long period of time, you're going to have nutrient deficiencies. Um, and you're not eliminating very well. So you're um, storing in your body, absorbing in your body excess toxins. So overall, what you have is nutrient deficiency and toxins in your body that basically create chronic stress. They disease. They create diseases like leaky gut, dysbiosis, every autoimmune disease on the map, diabetes, all those diseases, what they do, they create in the body a stress response. And that can become a vicious cycle. So you have a chronic disease. This disease is going to target your stress response. Your stress response reduce your ability to digest food and cause you to be more deficient and more toxic, to hold on to more toxic in your body, and that will make your chronic disease even worse and worse. So you create this vicious cycle. And how do you break this cycle? Breaking the cycle is by eating really nutrient dense diet, being aware of what you're eating, reducing processed food, toxic food, all the additive and preservatives, all the chemicals that they add to our food now, and really being mindful of where you get your food. Um, yeah, you really, yeah, it's important to have enough proteins. Um, yeah, a wholesome diet, not the Western style diet. That's for sure. Mediterranean diet, a lot of vegetables. And magnesium. Magnesium is a muscle relaxant, but it's also a calming mineral. And apparently 80% of Americans are deficient in magnesium. I highly recommend taking magnesium daily. Start with one pill, about 400 milligram. And if if you feel that you need more, take up to 800 milligram. You just need to know that magnesium, when it's too much, it will cause diarrhea. So if you want to know how much magnesium you need to feel feel its effect on your body, and if you need a little bit more, add more. The other way to take magnesium, not with a pill, is to do Epsom salt baths or foot baths. Epsom salt are pretty much magnesium, and um, when you soak in it, it can penetrate the skin. It's small enough molecules to come into your blood through the skin too. So I would do both. I would do magnesium and put a little bit of lavender essential oil in a foot bath, and then you will get it will also help you get toxins out of your skin. Vitamin D is highly important for many functions in your body. I'm not going to go into them, but it's involved in leaky gut. It's involved in a lot of functions. So vitamin D daily is very important for your immunity. Omega-3 fish oil is anti-inflammatory, and because our diet now is very pro-inflammatory, we eat a lot of foods like sugars and preservatives and unhealthy oils, processed. Everything is processed so much. It's all inflammatory. So omega-3 fish oil is very important. That, along with half a pound of cold water wild caught fish, I use salmon. Sardines are good too, to kind of reduce the inflammation and have the balance between the pro-inflammatory and anti-inflammatory. Sleep is highly important. It's important for two reasons. First, you relax when you sleep, so that's kind of counteractive for stress. The other thing is that sleep really let all your body calm down and rejuvenate, like to the cell level. When you sleep, cells cleanse themselves. They have time to heal themselves. The digestive tract have time to heal itself. So the entire body can rejuvenate itself and have um, and eliminate toxins when you're asleep. So when you wake up, you're like new. Meditation is great because what it helps you do is not that you relax for 10 minutes, and it doesn't need to take longer than 10 minutes, but you train your brain to react, um, to react. I don't know how to stop before it reacts, actually, to take the time to breathe before it reacts. And then the stress is not, instead of reacting all the time, having this culture of reacting to stressor all the time, you think about it and you kind of take a breeze before you react. And we hope that, when you react, it's not as stressful as it's kind of more balanced. The reaction is not that, whatever. And the last one is gratitude journal, because gratitude journal, what it helps is change your attitude, your mindset toward what's happening in your life. Our mind, and there is this great book that is called Buddha's Brain, the author said that actually for our survival, our mind learned how to look for the negative things, for the things that stress us, basically, for what threaten our lives, our well-being. So we walk around in the world and we are looking for stressor. And what we don't see enough is the thing that makes us feel good, the things that we can be grateful for. So if you write a gratitude journal every day, like every day before you go to bed, find 5 things that happened today that you really that made you feel good, that you're grateful for. And if you write those down, maybe after a couple of months of doing it, your mind will start to be more balanced and start to see not just the thing that's stressing you and stress you, but also the things that makes you feel good. And that will create more balance between the fight and flight and rest and digest response. So this is just a mini presentation, and it's going to be, I'm gonna stop for a week to talk about the stress response in relation to our digestion, and how chronic disease are developed out of stress. Um, you know, yeah, and how we can help reduce stress response and increase digestion, relaxation. Um, yeah. So this is the program. It's called Be Well, Eat Well, Heal and Thrive. I think it's the 5th week where I'm talking about stress. And then I will have a webinar of 90 minutes about the stress response and actually how it happens in our body in more details and how it affects digestion. And then during that week, every day of the week, I'm going to send a kind of an essay or a workshop about one channel through which we get stress. So I'm going to talk about the stress response for event going out, but also about the enteric nervous system and our gut feeling. I'm going to also talk about environmental stress, how toxins reach our bodies, and how can we reduce toxins in our body. I'm going to talk about other environmental toxins and toxins in the house, like food allergies or environmental allergies, and also about, you know, how we clean our house, what kinds of cosmetic, and it's all going to come with recipes. So it's going to be this week that is looking to, in many ways, reduce stress in your life in order to improve digestion and heal chronic diseases that are related to the connection between stress and digestion. So that's for me for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. Check out the website and go and look at the program. It's pretty interesting. I hope you join me. Have a good day. Bye.